Can I taste your juice?
Hello, I'm a CE2. You know, some people love me and some people hate me. Some people vape me happily and some people would rather vape a rock. Sometimes I have 2 wicks, sometimes more. Oh look, there's juice down there. Climb that wick, Juice. Climb it. You can do it. You know, but the problem is that I really don't know what version I am. Yeah, well, you may have that problem, but I don't. I'm an eGo Vision Stardust. Yeah, but you're only a version 1. What do you mean? You look just like me. Oh no, my post is different. But I just came out. Oh well. But what about all the people that love me? Too bad. I'm better. And what about all the people that spent their money on me? Too bad. Their loss. Will colored tanks help? Nope. Damn. Ha! You call those wicks? What the hell? Damn. I'm the version 3. I so have wick envy. Damn. But I just came out. Too bad. Damn. Coming soon, the eGo Vision Stardust version 4. Damn. Damn. I am so in the clearance section. Hey folks, PBusardo. You know, it's been a long time since I've done a rant and review, but it's time for one. And just to be clear, this rant is not targeted at any particular vendor, and the only reason I used the Stardust name in that little skit there is because that's really what a lot of people know these Clearomizers as, is the Stardust, which is the Got Vapes name. Revisions and model numbers and versions and manufacturers, oh my, it's extremely overwhelming. It's confusing to me, and I would consider myself relatively in the know about all this stuff. I could only imagine what it's like for, you know, the average consumer, somebody who's getting started in vaping. It's got to be overwhelming. Even for the vendors, it's got to be overwhelming to try to keep up with what's going on. You know, the Vision Stardust, the iTaste. The iTaste has a V2 battery that came out before the iTaste was even available to buy, pretty much. I'm getting ready to review this. I thought it was a LavaTube 1.5. Well, it's not really, because LavaTube was made by L-Rider. Gary, thanks for setting me straight on this one. This is not made by L-Rider. This is made by Young June. It's a knockoff of a knockoff. It's kind of crazy. Things are being pushed out very hard, very fast. Vendors are grabbing this stuff up and selling it to you, and it is overwhelming. Now, don't get me wrong. I am all for innovation and improvements and improving the vape quality, but I feel like it's being done at our expense. And the other problem that I have with this is the speed at which these revisions are coming out, which is a good and a bad thing, right? Because we want to improve our vaping experience, but damn, you know, I mean, as I'm putting the version 1 to my lips, the version 2 came out, and as I'm waiting for the version 2 to come to my house in the mail, the version 3 is posted on the website. So it's kind of crazy. So what are the solutions? I don't know what the solutions are. Suggestions for the manufacturers. You have a wealth of people at your fingertips who are experienced in vaping. And I'm sure these people would be happy to try out your products in like a beta testing environment and offer you suggestions on improvements before these products go out. But I understand if they work in that way, you might not make the money on the V1 and to make the improvements for the V2. Okay. But, you know, for the manufacturer that works in the beta test environment, and maybe even post information about how the beta test is going on the manufacturer's website and the improvements that you made based on the feedback that you got to get the product to a point where you feel it's ready to be released to the public. Because if you were to do something like that, in the long run, it might work out better. Here's why. You have the consumer who bought your version 1. They weren't happy with it. They gave it another chance. They bought the version 2. They're still not happy with it. The odds of that consumer trying out the version 3, I think, are a little bit less than the consumer who, you know, knows that you put a lot of work into the version 3, which actually became your version 1, and released a product the way it's supposed to work. For the consumer, you know, what can you do? Well, maybe not jump on a product as soon as it comes out. Give it some time to go through its revisions. If you're buying from a vendor, that vendor should really be an expert on the products that they sell and the history of those products too. So you should be able to see what version you're buying on that website with maybe a history. Why is it a version 2.5? What happened with the version 2 and 1.5 and 1? What are the improvements that were made? So, you know, you should have that information at your fingertips when you buy from your given vendor. I don't know what the solutions are. I do know that it's extremely confusing. Just this past weekend at the New England Vape Meet, met somebody who was vaping away on a Viva Nova tank. I love the Viva Nova tank. And I said, you know, I wasn't really crazy about it. And then they said, well, what version did you have? Version? I didn't know there was another version over the version 1, but there's a version 2.5 now. Was there a version 2? Was there a version 1.5? I don't know. But I get how this can be very, very overwhelming and confusing to new vapors, to anybody, to me, to vendors. You got to keep track of all this stuff. So it's insane. Try to go to vendors who are you know, giving you information about what the revision is and what the improvements were, etc., etc. Okay, so anyway, that's the rant for this one. Let's get into the review. All right, so this review is going to be relatively quick because I've already reviewed the eGo Vision Stardust version 1, I think, and now this is the eGo Vision Stardust version 3, I think, because it has the different post on top and it has the long wicks. All right, sent to me from the fine folks at SnG Vapor. Thank you for sending me these for review. And they are $6 each on the SnG Vapor website. Now, I'm not going to pull this one apart because I did that in the version 1 video. Filling them, they fill the same way as the version 1. You go ahead and unscrew the mouthpiece and you go ahead and drip your juice right down inside of there. The top part is a little bit different, so I had an easier time getting the juice into this one than I had with the version 1. They hold about 1.6 mils of juice. I shouldn't call these the Stardust because, in all fairness, that is the Got Vape's name for these. So these are just eGo Vision Clearomizers on the SnG Vapor website. And these are metering out at 2.2 ohms, so they are the low resistance version of that Clearomizer. But vaping it, that's what I want to talk about. Is it better than the version 1? Now, you may notice me doing something with this, and you may have noticed some condensation come flying out. But I'm doing this for a reason, okay? Because how this vapes depends on your behavior when you're vaping it. At least that has been my experience. All right, so weekend vaping, okay, when I have this, and I'm throwing it around, and it's on the counter, and it's on its side, and it's upside down, and it's in my pocket, and I'm mowing the lawn, and I'm cleaning the pool, and I go ahead and take a vape every now and then. It's a pretty terrific vape. Is it as fully saturated as, like, you know, my Cardo tank or my Cardos? No, it's close. The flavor is really good. That's the behavior that makes this work. It's all the swishing around of the juice in here. And for me, that makes it work just fantastic. And it does seem to use up all the juice. Now, that is behavior 1. So on the weekend, I was really happy with it. And I was vaping it. Another good vape, as long as I keep doing this. All right. So that was the weekend. Now, the problem was the behavior on the weekday, because the weekday I'm at my office, right? And I take my device and it's got no more movement anymore. It just sits on the desk like this, right? And every now and then I want to vape it and I pick it up and I vape it. And then all of a sudden, the dry, scratchy hits start. Okay? This works better when it's being moved around, or when it's being vaped like this, or you know, just the activity, the juice going up higher in this tank just makes it wick a whole lot better. If I just sit it like that, and I pick it up and I vape it like I would normally vape, which is like this, pointing down, okay, that behavior for me does not work well with this device. Is it better than the version 1? Filling is a little bit easier. Not really. For me, the way I vape, not really, because I'm sure if I had taken the version 1 and stuck it in my pocket and mowed the grass and cleaned the pool and all that other jazz, it probably would have worked just as well, because that juice is kind of swishing around in there. But when it's like this, and it was like no matter how hard, how full it was. I was at the second line, which is like the 1.3 mil line today at the office, and just sitting there and picking it up, and like just like dry, scratchy hits. And I tell you what, I have become a dry, scratchy hit snob. I won't put up with it, period. It's just something personally I don't want to deal with. All right, so maybe a little bit better than the version 1 in the filling, and you know, when I first had it fold up all the way to the top, I took a couple drags and I was like, all right, that's not bad, that's not bad. And then just as the juice starts to go down, unless you're doing this, it's just not working out for me. Okay, they do come in colors. There's a color. So what do I give it? Do I give it a thumbs up? Do I give it a thumbs down? Do I give it a no thumbs? I got to do the same thing that I did before, which is a no thumbs, because it's too dependent on the behavior that's required to use this. And I'll say it again: if you have them and they are working for you and you're happy with them, terrific. Okay, but for me, I'm not liking it, because I want to pick up something like a tank, okay, that isn't behavior dependent and is just always there for me with a fully saturated vape and good VTF. All right, this one also too. Every now and then I would get a little bit of condensation in my mouth on this. All right, so anyway, no thumbs. They're working for you, great. All right, and that's really it. That's all I have to say on this one. I'm not going to go too deep into this one because I already kind of did that with the version 1, I think. Okay, so you guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
Can I taste your juice?